Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. Today I'm with a very special guest. I've known about this man for quite some time. We're 6 degrees separated, and now we're, I guess, not even, we're like a arm's
we're like
length.
mad close.
Mad close.
Mad close right now. It's crazy.
And
physically.
He grew up about, what did you say, like 10 minutes outside of Chicago? Somewhere around there?
Just about.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I'm here with Kembe X. He's a rapper. He's a mogul. Yeah.
Singer songwriter. Folk trap.
Hell yeah.
I'm like a pioneer.
Can you do the banjo?
Nah, but I yodel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We got to start the podcast with a yodel then.
Like nah, like I do this high pitched singing though.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And like, you know, if like a white guy in a cowboy hat was doing it, you'd be like, this nigga's yodeling.
Shit.
You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, man.
I almost broke it out, but I'm not going to.
No, you gotta save it. You know,
sure.
That's for like a Netflix thing or something. Documentary.
Exactly.
The black man who can yodel.
This guy gets it.
But yeah, man. We've been removed just barely. Like I've told the listeners on the podcast, I've been obsessed with Chicago as of lately. Anywhere from I've had Femdot on,
Just the homie.
Lyrical Lemonade, of course, Boathouse,
Fucking Boathouse.
Xavier Holidays. There's quite a few artists, and it's cool to see that. I don't know if you know Xavier Holidays.
I'm not familiar. I'm like, who is that?
Ooh, he's dope.
Okay,
But it's crazy. A lot of Chicago artists are coming out to Seattle lately for tour.
Yeah.
And I told Xavier that the Chicago mob actually like helped build Seattle. This is a fact I learned like in the 70s or 80s.
Oh, the actual mob.
Yeah, they came here to Seattle. Is that
That's
fucking
crazy.
wild?
Yeah, the Chicago mob. Fucking yeah, Al Capone in them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There we
crazy.
go. And I've
excuse me.
So I've heard like it's a little bit of a meme now, but like at one point there was a meme about you being signed to Good Music, and then there's like stuff about like you being signed to TDE. So I'm confused about the TDE part now. Like I know you're managed by Musa, but are you more of like a Snoop Dogg where it's like he's not part of NWA but he's like associated with NWA, or how does that work for you?
You know, that's a really good way to put it.
Yeah.
Actually, I mean, yeah, now I'm like at liberty to tell this story. Honestly, so and I'm gonna try to keep it brief. So I've been in LA since I was 19.
Okay.
And that was, you know, it was a week after I turned 19, and I turned 28 in August. So it's been 9 years. And I moved out there with Isaiah Rashad. And initially in 2014, there was a moment where Top was like, yo, next week I'm finna have your paperwork printed up, you know, I'm gonna sign. And then like it was just through a series of events. You know, I think at that time, SZA was starting to move with, I believe the project was Z. Oxymoron had just came out. You know, Kendrick is like just did the Control verse BT cipher.
Yeah.
There's very much a steep incline going on. You know what I mean? And I'm in the house, at the time, the Carson house recording. And I just think that kind of got lost in the fold. And then there was a lot of shit where like I just, you know, I didn't have the best attitude about things. I probably pushed some situations away, didn't appreciate what was going on. And in those times, Musa really took me under his wing. He kind of empathized with me and had compassion for where I was coming from and believed in me. And, you know, for a long while, it's just been me and Musa. Right now, very recently, I'm working on this album. I've been in sessions with Top and playing him the new shit, and he's kind of like really big-eyed, like, you know, which is very affirming for me, especially because all that I've been through. You know, I'm gonna save some of these stories for like
the documentary. Right?
Yeah, when you know, like like there's just a way, it's part of the rollout. You know, like because there's a mystique there, and it's cool for me to even, you know, like especially after the pandemic and stuff, it's easy to get jaded and be like, motherfuckers don't care no more. And like I'm kind of hustling with that new artist mentality and approach. But yeah, I'm managed by Musa. Snoop Dogg is a good comparison. I used to always say it's like Project Pat.
Okay.
And he's not in 3-6 Mafia. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? But he might as well be.
that's very true.
You know what I mean? But yeah, we'll see. You know, it might be an official
Mhm.
Kembe X announcement.
Was it a full circle moment? Oh fuck, I forget the name of that song where you had like J Rock, Absol. Was that kind of like a full circle moment then? To kind of like if anyone was to think you were part of TDE, that would have been the song. That'd have been like,
Well, that's what's interesting, and TD is such a very special place.
yeah,
Like, very, very, very much like black owned, black operated, family oriented. Like, everything doesn't really make sense on the surface,
Mhm.
but when things play out, it's really like a even system of checks and balances going on over there.
Yeah.
You know, so the time that song was actually recorded, it's like peak me having the like people perceiving me in like the worst light, you know, over there. But because of Musa fucked with me heavy no matter what, you know, so like Top was is like some I'll allow it type shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it, and that's like a major blessing. That's why I have that loyalty to over there too, because you know it's sincerely with some things where it's just like, and it was like just little kid shit, just bad attitude shit. It's like when you around grown men that's really doing shit and you kind of just, you know, having a bad attitude, it rubs people the wrong way, and they kind of like, yo, we getting money and making moves over here. Like, what's up with this kid?
That's
You know
what's
what I mean?
that's what's so interesting. I just had one of my guests yesterday. Actually, it's so funny. He was my first ever podcast guest, and now
Yeah.
I'm like 200 episodes in or so.
That's dope. Congrats.
And Seattle doesn't have a super established music scene. I think that's fair to say. But even with that, with hip hop, there's like politics and local stuff. But then for you to experience those type of politics just a record label, that must have been eye opening as well.
Yeah, well, I feel like it's scale, you know, like they have their own politics amongst each other.
Yeah.
So like I came in with Musa. You know what I mean? So to an extent, it's politics there where Musa's like, nah, watch, like I'm gonna stand by this kid and watch this.
And he was already connected with them before he met you? Or?
Musa?
Yeah.
Yeah, Musa has been like road management for TD since like way before any of us heard of them. You know, like a part of it. A lot of them are family.
Got it.
You know what I mean? Musa's Top son, Punch's Top cousin. That's like a family run business.
Right.
You know what I mean? But yeah, you know, so definitely. But at the same time, you know, like he had to earn his place. Like when I came around, he was road management. He was trying to start his own businesses. Because it wasn't like things weren't handed in. I think from the fans' perspective, from the outside looking in, it's hard to see like while we was looking at them like at the top of the world, this shit was so new to them. Like they was all still figuring it out and they were doing it as a family. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's definitely the politics aspect is dope. And we always talk about at the office how like you know, the the documentaries can be crazy. But then we just had this moment recently. It was me, Musa, Diesel, the homie Dwayne that works at the label, and shout out Devin Malik. He just dropped a record. We synced it. And we're talking about somebody's like, yo, the documentary is gonna be crazy, and Musa like, nah, like we gotta recreate this shit now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because it's a very important and interesting corner of culture that I think is still very misunderstood. Just the TDE world,
right?
You know what I mean? And where it extends to like, you know, like when like the come up with like Danny Brown, how that helped TDE and how TDE helped Danny Brown just from the look wise, and like how like Danny Brown, Schoolboy Q, Mac.
I like J-Rock's story a lot too, man.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's all these different elements. Like Isaiah's element is a part of TDE, but it's like another branch off. SZA's element is a part of TDE, but it's a whole other thing. Like now there's fans of a TDE artist that have no idea what TDE is.
Shit, it could be like a Marvel Universe type of shit.
Yeah, damn near. That's crazy.
So when this is kind of, maybe this is, I don't know if this is good or bad, but when I first found out about Chance, it wasn't until I had heard of acid rap, but I didn't listen to him until he had the feature on SZA's, was it the Z album?
Yeah.
Like that shit was the wildest fuck. What was that song called? That's like one of my favorite beats of all time.
Oh,
It's
I don't
like,
remember what that song is.
Wind when the wind blow.
You know,
Riding with the shot. I can't. I'm terrible at like reciting lyrics, but that was the first time I heard of him, and that's crazy to think like the parallels there, like Chance from Chicago, and then connecting with SZA.
I had a
and
lot
then
to
you
do. I had a
connecting-
lot to do with that
Ooh,
happening.
really?
Yeah, I did. And I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
Like, there was a, there was a misunderstanding. This is way back too. There was a little misunderstanding between the camps. And motherfuckers just wanted the verse. And this is when Chance had the crib with James Blake.
Okay.
In the hills and shit. Like when Chance first was like taking off and shit. And I won't say that I'm the reason it happened, because it's definitely more to it than that. But I definitely was like, yo, bro.
Yeah, you can take some credit. Hell yeah.
Well, that don't, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Politically correct. You feel me?
So oh my God, just the Chicago scene just blows my mind. Like I completely forgot. I had these other artists on that are like currently like 14 and 15 doing crazy numbers right now in Chicago.
Man.
So with you're saying you moved to LA when you're like 19.
Mm-hmm.
So
a week after I turned 19.
Did you have the I'm guessing you had the chance to still connect with the Chicago music scene before leaving. You had to have built up somewhat of a music reputation before.
Absolutely. I mean, we were collectively the wave. Like I think we would all agree, if you ask like the people in my age range, like Vic was the first one that was like, he was like taking label meetings and shit.
Mm-hmm.
He was with Kids These Days, the band, and all that. And then like it was me and Alex, Kales, Saba, the whole Pivot Gang was like, a thing. Lucky, No Name, Joey Perp, the whole Save Money thing, like Joey Perp, Caleb James, Nico, Tokyo.
Oh, I forgot about Tokyo. Oh my gosh.
Everybody. Yes. And the thing is too, like we were all peers. So I think that's what makes the Chicago scene so different, is that we were really peers, and there was a moment, at least, and this is my perspective, like we was definitely believing in ourselves, but we was all looking at each other like, okay, we coming together and doing these shows at Reggie's, like who gonna be the first one to sell out Reggie's themselves?
So are those like open mic? What's Reggie's? Breakdown.
No, that's like, so we would do these open mics and like perform at different little like local things, but Reggie's is like a real venue.
Got it. Okay.
So we're like, okay, who's gonna be the first person to sell out Reggie's? Who's gonna be the first person to sell out Lincoln Hall?
Mm-hmm.
Who's gonna be the first person to sell out the Metro and like all these places that for us as teenagers, because we were teenagers, you know what I mean? Like, how are we gonna or who's gonna do it? And I felt like that was kind of the measurement of where this was gonna go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I think like as soon as one person, it was Chance did a lot, but as soon as one person was able to do it, like it was like all of us was starting to be able to do shows like out of town, like one by one by one by one.
Because you guys were collaborating a lot together and stuff too.
Yeah.
That's so exciting to like see a community like that.
Yeah, it was a lot of unity there for sure.
Was there ever did you ever feel like there was like a hierarchy though? Or like did any of you guys think Chance was the one that was gonna start doing like the reality shows, like The Voice and everything like that, and like be that guy who was working with Kanye and all that?
Well, I think that I don't think there was a hierarchy, and I think that everybody shared space with whoever was dope.
Yeah. So
it's like if people respected your craft or even just you as a person, like it was that simple, because we're so like, even the person that we might say, people that we might say was big headed or arrogant, like at the end of the day it was respect there, and like it was always love, at least in my experience. I can't speak for everybody, but even the way that I perceive it is very much like Chicago is a place full of humble people that we carried ourselves a certain way because that's how we would carry each other in real life in Chicago. You know what I mean?
I've been told that like if someone's music sucks, you'll be honest about it. You'll be
you know what I'm saying?
There's some places you don't get that though.
Yeah, Chicago, there's a culture of like, I think the only person they wouldn't tell that to is somebody who felt like couldn't take it. You know what I'm saying? Because then it's not cool. But it's a culture. It's definitely a culture of a little bit of shit talking and roasting. You know, also because it's like if you don't like it, how like if I believe in you, I need to be. It's kind of a compliment to like what I think of you. If I can tell you like that shit kind of weak, bro. Like I don't know, that shit not like that shit not raw like the last one was. Yeah, I think that's good. Like I think that's good in general. You feel me? I do get why people are more sensitive to things like that, because you want to make sure that people aren't bullying each other, or like being passive aggressive. I think that's another thing. Chicago don't really got it's not a lot of passive aggression in Chicago culture. It's like if we not finna fight, you could kind of say anything. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just talking shit.
Yeah. So do you guys all stay connected? Is like the community still there, or like since everyone's kind of doing their own thing now, is it kind of harder to stay in touch?
When I'm in the city, you be seeing motherfuckers. Like it's people, it's the community is there because it sincerely was there. But obviously we older and grown apart trying to figure out our own things. But just I have like a lot of confidence and faith that if I just seen Joey Perp on the street, I probably ain't seen him in like 3 years.
Joey Perp, that's another name. Wow.
Like if I seen him, if I seen Saba, if I seen Femdot, like John Doe, if I see them just randomly somewhere, we gonna chop it up like best friends.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be hugs there and like real talking, like just that, because it's always been, it's crazy that it's been this long, because we was all teenagers,
Yeah.
So we're still young. You know what I mean?
That's so crazy. Like I was fucking Justin Bieber is only 28.
Yeah, he's 6 months older than me.
Like, yo, that's fucking insane to just think about how long he's just been.
Yeah, but that's on like it was this thing where in LA when you would see somebody from Chicago, especially when you seen that they was like grinding.
Yeah,
it's like seeing somebody from kindergarten in the grocery store. So it's like, oh my god, like man, Chicago in this bitch. Like just started like saying all this, like just talking like super Chicago.
Yeah,
in this fucking. You know what I'm saying? Chipotle on Melrose or some shit. Just because, also to Chicago, LA, like the promised land to people. You feel me? Like when you out there, when you see people out there, especially because now it's like once people get older, you realize, oh, you could just move to LA. Like it's not like the dream come true. Well, it doesn't have to be as dramatic as we made it as teenagers. But I think at that younger age, we will see niggas like, damn, bro, you get into it too. That's crazy.
Yeah. What about the internet though? Do you think Chicago has just so many thriving artists, I feel like.
Yeah.
Do you think artists still feel like they need to move to LA for more connections or whatever the case? Or do you think there's enough knowledge of how to make a name through the internet?
Yeah, I think now people move to LA just because LA look like that and the weather is like that. You know what I mean?
That's very true.
And it's and also it's LA. It's the same reason motherfuckers move to New York. It's like a mecca. You know what I'm saying? For lack of a better term. But of course I'm sure there's a lot of up and coming artists from Chicago, from the suburbs of Chicago, that's popping out their bedroom. You know what I mean? And I also think that the landscape of media now with, the term content creation and like all the different outlets of getting yourself out there, I think there's a lot of dope artists that probably might enjoy podcasting more or might be comics. And when I say that, I'm saying like, it was a time where it's like if you were an artist and you doing comedy, people would look at you like you have no identity.
Right.
But now it's like we're respecting that you're probably better off that way, like exploring all the things that you think is dope.
And that's what's so cool too, to see that like comedy and podcast go like hand in hand. You see every comedian with a podcast. Right. You're starting to see a lot of artists with podcasts too, which is cool. I want to see more of that too, especially because we're like that's another question for you. Do you feel like you found a way in I don't know if that's the right word, these modern times,
go for it. What do you mean?
to connect with your audience in another way, like through podcasting, or like as a hip hop artist, there was a time, like I like to use like the Will Smith thing where like he was a rapper, he was an actor, but you still didn't know shit about him, you know? Okay, so what is that like being like a hip hop artist now? Like, do you feel like podcasting is something you need to make to connect with your audience now, or is it just by releasing singles, or what is it?
Well, I think that is definitely something for an artist like me, that I think that my personality and who I am is something that can go overlooked, because I don't like social media. It's hard for me to look at it like a job, right? Like if I sit up and podcast and I want to talk about my thoughts and opinions, then it will feel official. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm just you know, I think also social media, like I don't know what they changed when you started being able to turn like your likes off and shit.
Yeah, yeah.
I stopped seeing everybody's posts on my feed. Like I only see Say Cheese and fucking like meme pages that I follow and shit like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't see, you know, and I say that to say like I definitely want to podcast. I want it to look official. I want it to look dope like this.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, like I'm still learning for lack of a better term. Like sometimes I make random Instagram pages just to funnel my fans that really would be interested in my discussion over there.
Yeah.
Because also I think my main page is like should be like only exciting like and content that has to do with my shit. You know what I mean?
I feel like no one's asked you about. You had a radio interview that was talking about like when you dropped your latest project. It was a couple months ago though now. But no one talked, like, was that inspired by Kanye's, like, Chicago Bear, like, the eyes of the character? Because I always think of, I feel like Kanye owns
I know what
that,
you're talking about, like, the
bear eyes or whatever they are.
Well, that's like, I just had a funny, so I'm going to say I'm doing some Illuminati shit.
It's been confirmed.
That's like... that's Noah Ferrar's signature.
Oh,
so there's a that artist that did that cover. It's actually two artists. It's Noah Ferrar, whose signature is those eyes, and then it's this kid named Teffy, who's a super dope artist. He's getting recognized by like West Side Gun and Pharrell right now. I always call him out because he is always like just sending the Twitter timeline up with just toxic like. Just roasting motherfuckers and like he just turned everybody against him all the time. But he's an incredible artist. But
from Chicago or where's he?
He's from Detroit.
Okay,
he's from Detroit. But let me talk about Noah because that's Noah's design. So he actually does work with Dr. Genius, who is or was one of Cudi's like main producers, and obviously he does his own work too. But that's what I know Dot for. Shout out Dr. Genius. It's this photo of Cudi. Or this painting or drawing. I don't know how he really does it. He does it on an iPad. I'm not a visual artist like that, but that's just his medium. I never thought of it looking like the bear. Because also, I don't think that bear looked like that until graduation.
Interesting. And that was done by, what is his name? Takashi? Whatever.
Well, graduation was.
Yeah.
But that bear was, like, if you look at, like, College Dropout, it's just the bear.
That's very true. Yeah.
Those eyes is like the graduation eyes.
Yeah. That's interesting. Like, one of my dream Halloween costumes is to dress up as the Chicago Bear, but like you can't find that shit online anywhere.
The Chicago Bear? You mean like the orange?
The Kanye Bear, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Is that
the Kanye Bear?
Did he make that? That's what I wanted. Do you think he made that design, or is that like some random school mascot from like an elementary school?
Knowing him, I mean, he might have just. You know, fun fact, I want to say it's like Korea or some shit.
Okay.
They just have like these warehouses full of random different one-off mascots.
Oh, wow.
Because you know how people be dancing in the street with signs to promote a place? Like they just come up with different mascots for different businesses all the time. And there's just warehouses and warehouses full of these things. So maybe Kanye tapped into that market for that. It's just like, you know, but knowing Kanye might have designed it.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
So you're still in LA? Like since 19, so you've been there for like almost 10 years now then, or?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I spent bro from 2013 to 2017 in one form or another I was couch surfing. Or I had a spot, shout out to homie Craig McCall. Big ass house in Studio City. I had a huge room, so I was, but it was like not my spot. Like it was very much just falling into blessings because God is good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, like I left from there and ended up like crashing on couches and sleeping on floors and all that. It wasn't until like the pandemic that I really like. So I dropped my album right before the pandemic.
Name the album.
I was depressed until I made this. I was depressed until I made this. October 25th, 2019. Started having a little money. Was planning on doing a whole bunch of shows. 2020, pandemic happened. Honestly, for the beginning of the pandemic, I was sleeping on my homie Wolf's. I was sleeping in the studio, and I was sleeping on my homie couch. And by the beginning of January last year, we got a spot downtown. So now I finally got my own room and shit.
Hell
Like
yeah.
it's very new for me, you know. And I just want to say this too, like to all the kids and the artists out there, like, do not age yourself out of shit, bro. Like, I have never. I've been feeling like a grown ass man since I was 15, like just like looking, and I mean like looking old, but don't age yourself out of shit, bro. Because all these things I described was fun and like it was character building. You know what I'm saying? So I just, you know, it's a blessing to be in this space and have my own spot. I still got a roommate. You know what I mean? I'm also about to drop a crazy album. I'm about to like begin living my dreams for real, for real. Like, don't cheat yourself out the groundwork. Don't cheat yourself out the work. Don't cut corners. All right.
Hell yeah, man, dude, you're dope. I've been looking forward to this for a long time, man. Like I said, like I don't even know when I first found you, but I've definitely been rocking with your music for a while. So I've
been doing this shit since 2011.
Yeah.
Google top 10 free albums of 2011 on Forbes, and look at who's on that list, and look at where I'm ranked. It's crazy. And also my homie got on me because I be talking about that so much, and it's like, oh, that's like a long time ago. Like I'm definitely not the same person. I was a kid. I didn't know shit.
Yeah.
I did not expect anybody but my friends to hear that project. You know, it did a lot for me. And also I know when people see my face and hear my voice, there's so many different eras that people might think of. I was driving Lyft a couple years ago, and I picked up these 4 white dudes in suits and shit.
Yeah.
And because I kept getting these rides from this one hotel, and I'm like, yo, what do y'all do? Like, is a convention over there? He's like, oh man, nothing that interesting, you know. And you know, they're like, you probably do something more interesting. I'm like, well, shit, I do make music. You know, I just dropped an album. And they're like, what's your name? Somebody we might have heard of. I'm like, Kembe. They're like, Kembe X? Like, Kembe X and Alex. I'm talking about these niggas is like 30, but I forget that, you know, just because I was 17, you know, they was probably 21 when they heard my shit.
Wow.
You know, and they knew who I was. You know what I'm saying? And that was dope. That when I dropped them off, they made me get out the car and take a picture. If y'all see this, post it. Post it. I need some viral content. Like, my shit is so wholesome, bro. Like, my wave hits, bro. It's wholesome. It's funny. It's sarcastic. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah, man.
It's motivational.
Dude, and I forgot, I should have started the podcast. Well, this will be out afterwards, but you're on tour here in Seattle. Is this your first time in Seattle?
I did. I don't know what the venue was, but me and Alex Wiley came with Hippie Sabotage in 2016.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And it was a big ass venue though. Like, it was some like probably 1,500 cap venue.
Damn.
Yeah. But this is my first time like at this scale. And when I come back on my tour, I'm gonna say it's my first time.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. Well, this is a quick one. You're super dope. I'd love to have you on again already. You got to be a mainstay on the podcast.
For sure, I'm with it.
I feel like not even in another life, just in another time, we could like do like a hip hop podcast where we just geek out about hip hop. You know what I mean?
That could be dope. I love that.
But what is some final advice that you have for up and coming artists, creators, influencers?
I'm finna say something real specific, and I swear this just came to me right when you asked. Right?
Cool.
So if you're a rapper, if you're a lyricist, like sometimes when you start writing a verse, just write random words. Like, just be very random. I got this verse where like I started like, I think I'm hot shit. Eat my flaming hots with chopsticks. Hit the stage and make a mosh pit. With the Chevy like a Mach 6. Young, relatable, and toxic. High reward, high risk. Dystopian presence. We're scared to face the music, so we break it up in sections. The $12 bill. The herb got a pill. Hope it take us to the heavens. If not, I got a pill. But nervous I am still. Neatly folded half truths. Fuck bitches, cash rules. Injected with some feel good. Needles in the bathroom. Lost love for the craft because we make too many sad tunes. Flat-footed running from the devil.
Hell
like
yeah.
A lot of that shit is hard, right? But a lot of that shit is literally I just write some words.
Damn.
And just like see what comes next. Cause a lot of times you be trying to judge some shit before you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And like once you get into it, you look at what you wrote, like, oh, that shit's kind of tight.
Yeah. Last thing is that I've heard a lot of artists like their best songs are the ones that almost feel like they're like possessed and someone else is like writing it for them.
Facts. Yeah, it was like, I know I just did some hard shit when I'm like reading what I just wrote and I'm just laughing. Like, cause it's like, and this is what I'm trying to share. Like, it's no way I would have critically thought my way into these bars.
Yeah.
Like, I allowed myself to say these things, and that's a lot of what it is.
Hell yeah. Well, what is the easiest way for people to reach you, man?
Telepathically. No. Nah, KEMBE_X on everything. Yeah, as of right now, Spotify, Apple Music. My favorite song I just released is Cozy Forever. Go check that out. Go check out new music on the way soon.
Hell yeah. This has been the NAST podcast with
Kembe X.